Hello and welcome to Black Box Trading. I'm your host JT, and here on the channel we focus on Bitcoin fundamental and technical analysis. And boo! Bitcoin is breaking out. Things are looking really good. If you tuned into the stream last time, I think that was 2 days ago, I said I anticipate Bitcoin breaking out in the next 48 hours, and boom, Bitcoin is breaking out less than 48 hours later. Bullish news. Or no, not bullish news. The news is that Bitcoin is bullish and that the bulls are wanting to rally into the ETF announcement. So that is going to change a little bit of my analysis in relation to context. And we'll dive into that a little bit more. But before we do that, go ahead and check out blackbox.pro. That is BLKBOX.pro. And sign up for your free Bitcoin trading bot. It only takes a few minutes. It is free to use. All that we ask is that you use one of our partner exchanges. And get signed up today. Never miss a move again. So I'm going to play you guys a little bit of a clip just to kind of do a victory lap and gloat and prove to you that I said these things, because I guess that's what you do on YouTube. I can't figure out how to get the audio feed, so I'm going to have to put my mic up against the speaker, which is pretty ghetto. But gloating. And the last show that I did, we were talking about what I think will happen in the context of an ETF approval. And nothing's really changed in regards to that. Oh, the 3 days looking really bullish as far as candle structure here. Really bullish. We got another day here. So I think we're going to get a breakout in the next 24 to 48 hours here for Bitcoin, which will probably, there's not a lot holding us back. Once we get up into this range, let's say we get up to that. All right, well, that's it. 48 hours and we broke out. So things are looking really, really good. And now my mic doesn't want to hold itself up. Oh, well. Let's just get back over to the charts here. And we got a question here from the chat. Baloo, what's up? Tacos and tequilas. People are saying the last little pump before they dunk on retail and scoop BTC back up for their ETF coffers. What do you think? I think yes. So that is a perfect segue into the adjustment of the context of what I'm seeing here in the chart. So in the previous video, what I was saying was that I expect the ETF to get approved and that we pump up to the 50-ish range, anywhere from 50 to 55, with the extended targets up at around $58,000. And I think we're actually going to do that now without any news at all. I think that this breakout is going to have us continue on anticipation of approval. And then I think there's going to be a delay. So that's the new prediction as far as what I think is going to play out as far as the news. Now, keep in mind, I don't give a shit about the news. Show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. It doesn't matter to me. So the fact that we're rallying into this level and look at this from a weekly perspective and kind of, I don't employ the use of fibs very often, but there's a lot of confluence with around the $56,000 to $57,000 range is kind of what I'm looking for. I'll pull a fib here from cycle top to cycle bottom, and that is the 786 retracement line is 57,543. Now, I also did a point and figure count in the previous show. Go ahead and take a look at that because I'm not going to do a count live again. It takes too long. But that also gave us a target of around $55,000 to $56,000. So there's a lot of confluence up in that kind of mid to upper 50s range. So what I'm thinking happens from a event perspective is we are going to continue this rally in the next 2 days. I think on the 10th is when the ETF approval or the ETF decision is due. So I think we rally in anticipation of approval. And then I actually think that we get a delay. I think we get a delay and the market reacts negatively to that news. And we find ourselves, trading through the halving around the 40K level. So the whole market's looking for an excuse to sell. You know, we've been on a rampage here. We've, you know, from bottom to kind of that mid 50s range is about a 250% move. For traditional finance guys, that's massive, right? Like their years are already set. 2023 and 2024 are done for them on the books. They've made a killing. So they're just looking for an excuse to sell. And I think a delay will cause a pullback. Now, it doesn't have to be a delay. We could get an approval. And in the context of an approval, we could get some sort of impulse pump to higher levels. Or maybe the approval, let's say over the next 2 days, we rally to say 50K. And then we get the approval, and that brings us up to the upper 50s. I don't really care about the events and how they play out. All I care about is that 57K level. I don't care how we get there. That's just where I'm going to start to take profits. You know, we've been in this trade since 18K. So once we get into that kind of target, because I think we're getting overextended here, you know, that mid 50 target, I'll probably take 10 to 15% off the books, off of the trade, and use that for a dip buy around the 40s. I'm not going to get greedy with it. You know, people are going to be calling, when we start going down, people are going to be calling for 30s. They're going to be calling for 25. They're going to be calling for some really silly numbers. I'm not going to get greedy with it. We are pre-halving. We are pre-all-time high break. We're in a bull market. We're in an uptrend. Don't get cheeky with it. Just look around that 40K level. That's what I will be doing. So this has been a very good move. Very good move. Let's see. Let's catch up with the chat here. Happy Pepe. Delay is bullish. More time for speculation. I think a delay would be probably the best case scenario. And the reason I think that is because this rally is huge. It's very overextended. So it's going to give the market a reason to react, you know, 25 to 30%, and then reaccumulate. And then what will end up happening is the ETF approval becomes the catalyst for a rally as opposed to a catalyst for a dump. Okay, context is everything. So in a perfect world, we actually do get a delay, in my opinion. Most of the market's not going to agree with me. Most of the market's not going to like that as an answer. But I think based on a purely technical point of view and where we are in this price advance and where we are in this macro rally, it would be best for us to get a delay, begin to accumulate through the halving, and then get the ETF approval spark off the bull market. That would be ideal. Sol, for those who are hooked up to the alphanumerics indicator, I know a couple people just signed up for the alphanumerics indicator. Just based off this signal alone, we got a beautiful green diamond inside of the green wave signal, and just that one signal alone, we're already up 12% on the day for this one. It's a nice big move. These are huge signals. Whenever we come into the green wave, it is a signal. You can see every time we come into the green wave, it kind of rallies off of that. But to get a green diamond buy inside of the green wave is even more conviction. So Solana for me is looking really good. Let's actually go to a longer time frame chart. Solana, you know, I'm very heavy in ordinals. I think ordinals are the best place to be. But if I wasn't in ordinals and I was still speculating on altcoins, Solana is my number one pick for altcoins. Is my number one pick. My number one pick in this cycle is ordinals and BRC20 tokens. But my number one altcoin pick is Solana, and tons of confluence down in this area. Beautiful contact of the 7-week EMA or 7-week moving average. If we did get a break below 77, which I don't think we're going to get, that would cause a period of consolidation and a cool off. But right now it's up. It just keeps going up. What a fantastic trade on this one. It's up from basically the lows, 568%. Actually, from the low lows, let's pull a measured move from The tippy bottom to tippy top is over a 10x on Solana. It's showing incredible strength, incredible strength. And one asset that I've been yelling at for months and months and months that is not showing strength is Ethereum. I've been yelling, you know, Ethereum is not the play. Ethereum is not the play this cycle. That is going to piss a lot of people off hearing that. You're not going to believe me. Ultrasound money, deflation, blah, 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 blah. Insert bullshit narrative here. Price is truth, okay? Opinions are worth nothing, including my own. This isn't my opinion. This is a fact that we're looking at right here on the charts. Ethereum has done nothing for nobody since December of 2021. And it is going to continue its downtrend in terms of Bitcoin returns, probably until at least the halving. This could come down to 3 million sats per ETH. Maybe even, yeah, it could 3 million sats per ETH, I think it could come down to, or 3.5 million sats per ETH. And then it will begin to recover. But Ethereum is not in a position of outperformance right now. Solana is really taking the cake as far as that. So if you're looking for altcoins, pay attention to Solana and surround yourself with the Solana ecosystem, because that one is truly outperforming. That is a market leader. Ethereum is a market laggard. It is doing nothing. You're better off holding anything else. So yeah, it is what it is. We'll take a look at some traditional assets. Feel free to spam your tickers, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what's going on with the S&P. S&P's wanting to go for it. It wants to break past that all-time high. Let's actually mark the all-time high. We can get rid of this resistance bar. We don't need it. The line in the sand for us is this all-time high at $479.98 for the spider. We break past that level. Continuation in traditional finance. Speculation is back on. We're just going to continue on our merry little way. The NASDAQ is ahead of it, so it could be giving us hints to the future. As far as speculation is concerned, the NASDAQ is full of tech stocks and more speculative assets. So it could be a better reflection of risk on sentiment. The inverse, in a bear market, it reacts more. In a bull market, it rallies harder. So it could be giving us a sneak peek. And on the NASDAQ, we've already broken an all-time high, and we're coming back for a consolidation here. Let's do a comparison of total, and let's overlay total 2, and total 3. So for those who don't know, the total is the total market cap of it's the total market cap of the entire cryptocurrency market. Total 2 is the entire cryptocurrency market cap minus Bitcoin, and total 3 is the total cryptocurrency market cap minus Bitcoin minus Ethereum. So it kind of reflects where the demand lies in the market. So we'll do a 1-year outlook of that. And not surprisingly, the biggest outperformer, as we've been saying for a long time, we've been beating this drum for well over a year now. The place to be is Bitcoin. And that's what we're seeing quite plain and easy to see here on the charts. Total, which represents the total market cap plus Bitcoin, is the one that's way above the rest. Total 2 is actually doing better than I thought it would. I thought by this point Total 3 would have caught up, but Total 3 is beginning to catch up here. So it's pretty much at parity with Total 2. Keep in mind, Total 2 has Ethereum, and Ethereum has been underperforming, so it's stifling the market cap. Total 2 was kind of lock in step with Bitcoin. Bitcoin got away from that. And now Total 3 is beginning to catch up. So that's where the Solana narrative and the high-risk degenerate plays are coming in. There's a lot more speculation in the market, which is why Total 3 is catching up and may even pass Total 2 if Ethereum can't make a move. File picked up a bag. Filecoin. Why? What you heard? Bitcoin does file storage now. That's the whole thing. That's the whole ordinal like mania is Bitcoin. People putting arbitrary file data on the Bitcoin network. I don't know why you would do Filecoin when Bitcoin is Filecoin, but let's take a look. Okay, we'll delete those. Put the candle chart back on. Let's go over to the weekly. Well, it's not great. It's not great. Now, there are two ways that you can look at this. Now, I will remind you all that I am a Wyckoff trader. We trade using the Wyckoff method. And the Wyckoff method is not just simply identifying a trading range. It is also identifying strength in the market by doing comparative analysis to identify market leaders. Okay? When I look at this chart, this is not a market leader. So for me, this is not an asset that I want to have anything. I don't want exposure to this asset, okay? Because it's not showing relative strength to the rest of the market. However, I'm not saying dump your position if you took a position in this one, because crypto is very correlated, okay? Which means eventually, when there's a lot of FOMO in the market, people are going to buy anything. They're going to buy anything, okay? So with that context, you know, Bitcoin passed the halving, Bitcoin passed the all-time high. In that context, Filecoin will get dragged up with the rest. Is it going to be an outperformer? No. Is it going to be a darling child of this cycle? No, it is not. But it's, you know, sideways, and its volatility can only increase from here if the bull market progresses. All right, let's catch up with the chat here. Do you have suggestions on reading material, forums, and YouTubes if I want to geek out on ordinals? Honestly, it's so new that there's not a lot of quality material out there other than just getting into the Discords. The Discords are where you can go, where you can ask dumb questions. I highly recommend that you get into the Track Discord. You'll also want to get into the Unisat Discord, the Ordinals Wallet Discord. Start hanging out in the different Discords, because there's no like how-to Ordinals book. It's way too new, and it's constantly developing. We actually just had the first, 1.0 release of the ORD protocol happen 2 days ago. So it's very, very new, very, very new. So you got to your forums are your best bet in the form of Discord. That's where I've found the most alpha. What is the correction percentage after approval or delay? Typically, bull market corrections in Bitcoin are going to be around 30%. If you see a 30% correction in Bitcoin, and we are pre-halving, and we are pre-all-time high, that is a buy the dip scenario. That is a 100% of the time buy the dip scenario. Yeah, that's it. That's, it's typically 30%. Now, as we age, I could say, there's a chance that there's more liquidity and more people willing to scoop it up, but there's also way less supply. This is the first market cycle that has ever seen a diminishing supply available. That has some serious implications, okay? It is very easy to move the price of Bitcoin. It is very easy to move the price of Bitcoin. This is the first cycle where the supply is declining. So take that into consideration and realize that the typical correction is 30%. Do not be surprised if it exceeds that. We could see 35, we could see 40%. We could theoretically see a 50% correction in Bitcoin. So don't be surprised if those kinds of things happen. If this is your first bull market, hold on, hold on for dear life. That's what Bitcoin is all about. It does really, truly does try to shake you out. So be prepared for anything. I want advice on which cryptocurrencies to consider and what percentage I should buy them. I have a solid portfolio. We don't give financial advice. We can give entertaining recommendations. But, everybody's portfolio is different. Everybody's goals are different. Everybody's portfolio allocation is different. Everybody's pain threshold is different. There is no one size fits all recommendation for anybody out there. Another asset that's been doing quite well is Rune, Thorchain. Thorchain is another market leader. There are a few market leaders out there. If you guys are interested in taking a look at some of the coins that I'm watching, go to blackbox.pro, blkbox.pro, join the community and get signed up for the bot and get into the private VIP signals group. It's all free. All that we ask is that when you take a trade, you take it with one of our partner exchanges and set up the bot with one of those partner exchanges as well. And yeah, but Thorchain, this one is doing really well. This is a market leader. Thorchain is a way better place to be than Ethereum. As far as correction, you know, let's take a look at this on the 4 hour. I think this gave us another beautiful signal on alphanumerics. Thorchain did turn red. So this signal, you know, if the wave was green, this would have been an amazing signal. You know, green wave with a green diamond. But because the wave is red, we ignore these short-term signals. So we go up to higher time frames. So we'd be looking for a green diamond on either the daily or ideally a 3-day. In a bull market, you want to see them on the daily. We're not in a bear market anymore, so I don't expect a 3-day green diamond. If we got that, that would be an amazing opportunity. But yeah. Okay, when no KYC exchange for US burgers. For us burgers. There is a no KYC exchange coming by the end of the month. All right, let's take a look at some Bitcoin pairs. Let's take a look at Cardano, BTC. I anticipate, you know, we're really not going to see an outperformance quite yet. Yeah, Cardano's still in a technical downtrend. So Cardano is not ready to outperform. Let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash. We were watching this one before on the fiat pair. Downtrend continues with volatility decreasing. So until we see an expansion in volatility, it's not going to outperform Bitcoin. Let's see where Bitcoin dominance is at. Bitcoin dominance. Okay, well, this is where we should have started before we even looked at the altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is just continuing on with its trend. So Bitcoin is going to continue to be the dominant force in this market. And does that mean you can't get exposure to altcoins? No, you absolutely can. But those altcoins are brand new and they are ordinals. You need to get into ordinals. Ordinals, 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 ordinals. That's it. It is the only market that is doing something right now. The profitability of BRC20 tokens, the profitability of ordinal inscriptions, the profitability of tap tokens, pipe tokens. There is a shit ton of new stuff coming out. And that new stuff is going to be some of the biggest moves. They're going to be some of the biggest movers in this upcoming cycle. And all of these dinosaur assets, they're going to be nothing in comparison to what we're seeing with those assets. What do I think about SUI? We'll take a look. But yeah, Bitcoin dominance is continuing to climb. Bitcoin is going to continue to rally. It's going to continue to outperform. And anything related to Bitcoin is going to continue to outperform as well, which is why ordinals are doing so well. I don't know much about this project, but it seems to be headed in the right direction. Nice, tight consolidation, not too much volatility. This one's kind of flying under the radar. I don't think too many people are talking about this one. What is it doing percentage-wise? It's doing quite well. It's certainly not a market leader. I think there are other assets that are going to give you higher returns, you know, from market bottom to cycle top 160%. There's certainly better gains out there, but it's headed in the right direction and it's doing so in a very quiet way. So this is a trend that will likely continue. So if you're holding on to a position in SUI, I don't think it's going to be a bad play. My ordinal bags are most likely going to be untouched through this cycle. So then I assume most of these assets will be available to trade on exchanges like BitGet. Where do you plan to keep your ordinals through the bull market? Well, again, going back to the fact that I'm a Wyckoff trader, we hold for the cycle. I'm not going to do much of anything with the ordinals. I'm going to wait until Bitcoin has showed signs that its price cycle has completed. And then once it shows signs that its price cycle has completed, I'm going to begin to unload. I might unload a little bit before that if I hit some targets with individual assets that I have a pre-planned trading plan on. But other than that, I'm going to hold for the duration of the cycle. That is the most profitable way to trade. It is the least stressful way to trade. It is the best way to trade. I'm going to ask you guys a favor. We're really trying to grow the channel here in 2024. We have been right about pretty much every single macro move in Bitcoin's history for pretty much the duration of this channel's existence, with the exception of the dead cat bounce last cycle. That was the only one that we kind of messed up on. But yeah, we're done being humble. We're done being humble, and we want your help to kind of help us grow. So if you've shared these videos, if you've shared the channel before, thank you very much. If you haven't shared these videos, I know you guys are hanging out on Telegram. I know you guys are hanging out in different chat groups on Discord. If you could do us a solid and just share this video with at least 1 or 2 groups, that would be amazing. We are really gearing up for some cool stuff. We're going to be doing trading competitions. We're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be doing a lot of really cool stuff. So if you can help others find the appropriate content where people have been making the right calls at the right time, then yeah, please share this content. New subscriber, welcome. I don't see what it says. It's too small. X-ray, I think, something like that. But yeah, if you could share this content, that would be amazing. Okay, check Atom. Atom is another one that gets a lot of attention, but it doesn't do much as far as price advance. Atom gets, everybody's talking about Atom. I don't know who the marketing team is for Cosmos, but man, Atom gets a lot of attention. Why? Why does Atom get so much attention? It's done nothing. It's done absolutely nothing. But everybody talks about Atom. Everybody. It's wild to me. Like, cycle low to cycle high, 100%, 112%. This is not a market leader. And because this is a layer 1 blockchain, you've got way better opportunities elsewhere. You have way better opportunities elsewhere. Do comparative analysis. So, you know, press the little plus button up here and just start typing in layer 1s. Cardano. Let's add another one. We can add Ethereum. We can add, what's another layer 1? Solana, although that's not going to be very fair. It's been absolutely crushing it. Another layer 1 would be Polkadot. You know, you just line up all of the layer 1s and then press year at the bottom, and it's going to show you which ones you should be in. So in last place is Cosmos. This is not a market leader. This is a market laggard. Something's going on. I don't know enough about the fundamentals for Atom. Maybe they have a very extensive issuance schedule where they're just printing way too many coins. But out of all of those ones that you could have picked, you're better off in Polkadot. You're better off in Ethereum. You're better off in Cardano. You're way better off in Solana. Atom just is doing absolutely nothing. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of capital. Sorry to be so harsh, but this is the reality. This is why I don't listen to the news and the fundamentals, because news and fundamentals are going to make you go fundamental. Okay, this doesn't matter. These are useless things. Price equals truth. If you are wanting to gain exposure to a sector, you line up all the assets in that sector and you look at the best one. I don't care if it's rallied higher. It's going to continue to rally higher. Why? Because it's the strongest one. Everybody falls into this trap where they're like, oh, this one hasn't pumped yet. This one's due to pump. No, it's not due to pump. It's due to do nothing. The market will drag it up, but there's no demand for that asset, which is why it's lagging in the first place. You want to go for the assets that have demand. They're going to get bought up quicker. They're going to move faster. What are the current cryptocurrency leaders besides Solana? IMX, INJ, TIA, Rune. INJ, yeah. Tony Sol, INJ is great. INJ's been killing it. I think INJ's actually been doing better than Solana. Oh yeah, look at it. It's obscene. Now, this is where things get a little bit more nuanced. In the case of Solana, you know, it hasn't broken past an all-time high. In INJ, it's very hard to form a trading plan around something that's done a 40x. It's already done a 40x. I think with INJ, the best way to play something that moves this quickly is to gain a little bit of exposure, just a little bit, okay? Like 10% of your anticipated position. If you want to put $1,000 in, put $100 in. Then you got skin in the game, you're going to be watching that asset. Then you're going to let it accumulate. As soon as it starts to accumulate sideways, or if Bitcoin dumps 30%, one of those two things, it either trades sideways for multiple months or Bitcoin dumps 30%. When Bitcoin dumps 30%, what do alts do? They dump 40, 50, 60, 70%. So you got to be ready. You got to be liquid. You got to be on the exchange. You got to get ready to buy that position and have cash ready to buy in the context of that. So you always have to have a cash position if you're going to try and get these positions, if you're going to try and snipe some of these retracements. But with INJ, it is absolutely, without a doubt, 100% a market leader. It's just, how do you mitigate your entry risk? You mitigate your entry risk through small position size exposure initially, and then waiting for the dip or waiting for the accumulation. I have no idea what INJ does. I don't care what it does. All I know is that the market loves it, and it will do very well this cycle. So we'll take a look at Celestia, which is TIA. This is a new one. It's been doing up only. This is another example of one that you would want to watch, maybe gain a little bit of exposure to. A 10% position, a 10% probe position, and then wait for a dip. You need a big, large retracement on this one. IMX, another one. From our initial call of IMX, we're 286% up. I don't know what groups you're in, but we have been calling bottoms like a madman. 286% up. It's certainly not seeing the performance of Solana. It's not seeing the performance of INJ, but it's been a good one. It's been a good one. Anytime the market starts talking about metaverse and in-game assets and stuff like that, IMX starts to move. Asaka and a lot of other big players have been really bullish on SEI. Tech's supposed to be like near but faster. Dude, have you not been paying attention? The whole market is flooding to Bitcoin, the slowest one. Don't fall into the trap of faster is better. It's not. The slowest one is the best one. Bitcoin it does not, like, you'll have a block that takes an hour to clear, and then you've got these high throughput blockchains, and everybody's like, oh, it does this many transactions per second. Yeah, but who cares? The market doesn't care. The market cares about the slowest one. That's the one where everybody's making the most money. But let's take a look. SEI. Yep, it's looking really good. Let's take a measured move here. 800% ain't nothing to shake a stick at. That's a pretty good rally right there. You're going to want to wait for it to cool off a little bit. You're going to want for it to cool off a little bit, or do that probe position. Get a little bit of exposure. That way you have skin in the game, because you got to pay for attention. If you have no allocation to the asset, you forget about it. So having just a little probe position will keep your attention. Then you'll be watching that chart, and then it'll be like, oh, there's the dip. Boom. Execute on my entry. Get into that dip buy. You know, if it dipped down to 30 cents, boom, that's a fantastic buy. So you got to be paying attention. You got to have skin in the game, and you have to be liquid. You have to be ready. Based on your experience, what is the scenario for the BTC correction? Will it drop immediately or gradually? In my experience, how Bitcoin drops, let's pull it up. In my experience, this is how Bitcoin corrects. Okay. Let's say we rally up to the mid 50s. That's what we're currently targeting, right? We get up to the mid 50s. What we do is we do a very violent and fast initial correction, and then it kind of like tries to recover, and then it folds over and does a much larger correction. That's typically how Bitcoin corrects. It'll come down, it'll freak the market out, everything will get quiet, then we'll rally up, and then boom, we will fall down. Perma bear, where have you been, yo? I've been a perma bull for this whole fucking market. I had you in at 18K, and we're talking about the upper 50s. Perma bear. Welcome back to the market, I guess. You missed all the gains. We're only talking about a correction now because we've rallied so high. We've made so much fucking money. But yeah, that's typically how you correct. 2 waves. You'll have kind of, the Elliott wave, guys, we'll call it a ABC correction. You get that one initial one that freaks the market out. We begin to rally. You get kind of a fake out, breakout, and then boom, you get the real correction. It's typically how it works. And if we continue to rally, just to recap here, if we continue to rally in anticipation of an approval on the ETF, I would not be surprised in the slightest that we get a delay. And it's the delay that causes the dump. Even if it gets approved, I think we're gonna get a dump. Because we've gone too far. We've had such an extended, beautiful rally. Black Box has been killing it. Let's actually take a look. Black Box, we put 10 grand in this. And, 10 grand, but it's made us 3,800 bucks so far. We have the USDT margined bot running, and we have the coin margined bot running. So this one is stacking sats for us, and this one is stacking cash. Both are valuable in a bull market. If you guys are wanting to get set up with this trading bot, it's 100% free. Just go to blackbox.pro, blkbox.pro. Takes 5 minutes to start an account and get signed up. Let's talk a little bit about some ordinals. Let's talk about Bitmap. Bitmap had a huge run. So Bitmap had a breakout at around 245,000 sats, and it rallied all the way up to about 770,000 sats. We're now having a correction here sitting in around 400,000 sats, but Bitmap is going to be huge. If there is one ordinal that I can hold a lot of conviction in taking a position in, I would say that it is Bitmap. If you guys don't know what Bitmap is, let's go over to Magic Eden for the Solana NFT-ers. There's a whole section here on bitmaps. These are bitmaps. This is a token protocol standard for the metaverse on Bitcoin. These are going to be your slice of land in the Bitcoin metaverse. And what I anticipate happening with bitmaps is they are going to be token factories. These are going to be the launch pads. This is MEV, miner extractable value proof. The miners will not be able to front run you on new token listings if you hold bitmaps and there is a token release on the bitmap. We've already seen a variation of that on the BMT tokens. So that's the bitmap token. It is yet to be indexed, is yet to be inscribed really, but we got a glimpse of that with the NAT tokens, those non-arbitrary tokens. Those are being issued to bitmap holders. The holders of bitmaps are going to get a shit ton of token drops. You are going to get a shit ton of what are being called block drops. And they're going to be huge. I wouldn't be surprised if we see each bitmap at a quarter of a Bitcoin by the end of this cycle. 1/4 of a Bitcoin. You heard it here first, folks. We could easily see a quarter of a Bitcoin per bitmap, currently sitting at around 400,000 sats. So in sats terms, that is 25 million sats per bitmap. Let's take a look at Node Monkeys. I don't have a position in Node Monkeys. Node Monkeys has just been, it's one of these, I'm not much of an NFT guy. Metaverse land, I get. PFP projects, I don't get. So I'm never going to be your PFP NFT guy. That's just not me. But yeah, Node Monkeys had a beautiful rally. They got up to a high of 0.3 of a Bitcoin, currently sitting at 0.22 of a Bitcoin. Same with Bitcoin Frogs. Bitcoin Frogs have been just, they went massive. They almost got to half a Bitcoin. Yeah, 0.48 of a Bitcoin. Each little picture, profile picture of a freaking frog got to nearly half of a Bitcoin. Pay attention to ordinals. The market is paying attention. If you don't know what the fuck ordinals are, you have to get into some discords. You can start with ours. We'll point you in the right direction. You need to get exposure to this sector because it is massive. It is massive. It's going to be the whole fucking bull market. It's going to be the whole bull market. The whole bull market is going to be BRC20 tokens, TAP tokens, ordinal inscriptions, fucking pipe tokens. It's going to be all of it. All of the other tokens, with the exception of maybe Solana and a couple other market leaders, every other altcoin that you learned about last cycle is dead. Bitcoin punks. What are the punks doing? This one's been around. This was one of the first projects to launch. Hasn't done much of anything, really. If you see it at 1.6 million sats per Bitcoin punk, that could be good. But it really hasn't done much of anything. The Pepes, congrats to those who sniped them. We had an alpha drop on the Pepes last night. A couple of our private VIP members got into the drop. And boom, as soon as we got in, we started seeing that DZ from Twitter was in on this. I have a sneaky suspicion that this is one that's going to kind of produce some tokens and some alternative PFPs as well. Since the Jubilee upgrade, a lot of inscriptions are now allowed multiple child inscriptions. Before, you were allowed one child per parent inscription. With Jubilee, it's an infinite amount that you can have. So I have a sneaky suspicion that you're going to get some further mints or maybe even some airdrops from the Pepes. So hold on to those Pepes. They're not worth selling now. Goosenals. Another PFP project. Again, I don't really care about PFPs, but we'll take a look at them anyways. Huge rally. Broke out at around 182,000 sats. Had an all-time high of 6 million sats. Currently sitting at 2 million sats. So that's quite a retracement. Let's get a fib. Let's get a fib retracement on that. It's weak. As soon as it passes the 0.618, you know it's weak. You know it's weak. So Goosenals is weak. It's probably going to do a full retrace. Yeah, this one's not looking very strong. Not looking very strong. So maybe it stops at the 0.786, which would be about 1.4 million sats per Goosenal. But yeah, once it passes the 618, it's not showing strength anymore. And you have to lower your expectation. Doge Punks. Doge Punks had a rally that just kind of blew up, came out of nowhere. Looks like we're forming a little bit of a cup and handle situation here on Doge Punks. Where is my rectangle? It's not it's not very clean, actually. Let's go with something like that. Something like that. So this was kind of an impulse because these markets are liquid. They're going to move all over the place. So yeah, sitting at around 680,000 sats right now. If it breaks past 1 million sats, it'll probably go for a run. All right, I think that's it. Let's see how Bitcoin's doing, and then we will close out the show. All right. This is our Wyckoff reaccumulation structure. Let's turn alpha metrics off for a sec. This is our reaccumulation structure. We were calling this a spring. We were right. Right off the spring is when we began the breakout, got the rally, passed our sign of strength. We need to get past $48,000, and I think we will. I think we get past $48,000 in anticipation of an ETF approval. I think we get up to $54,000 at least. Then the news will come. That news will either be an approval or it will be a delay. But either scenario, I still maintain the same posture that I do anticipate there to be a 30% correction in Bitcoin, either immediately. It would happen immediately if it was an ETF delay, or it would happen over time with a confusing, hey, I don't understand, we got approved and we still dumped type situation. So that's what I'm looking out for in the charts right now. Enjoy the rally, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening or morning or wherever it is that you are. Thank you all for joining in. Don't forget to check out the community, check out blackbox.pro, sign up for your free Bitcoin trading bot, and never miss a move again. And until next time, please trade safe. It is a jungle out there. Peace.